crochet chain join of these 2 garter stitch blocks. This is a joining technique that's used to join blocks in the bingo blanket. So let's start by inserting the crochet hook, and here I'm using a crochet hook that's about, it's one size smaller than the needle size. I used a 7 or a 4.5 millimeter knitting needle. I'm using a 4.0 millimeter crochet hook, just so that it's easy to insert through the edges of the knitting. So let's start by going right to the cast on edge and pulling a loop through there to start out. So this is the setup, pulling a loop through. Then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to insert the crochet hook front to back, yarn over the hook, pull a loop through, and then pull that loop through the existing loop on the hook. Okay? Let's chain 1, and then we're going to skip a ridge. This is a ridge. Here's one ridge, another ridge, another ridge. We're going to skip this ridge, and we're going to insert through the bump, which is really just the stitch at the very end of the garter stitch ridge. We're going to yarn over the hook, pull through, pull the loop through our existing loop that's already on the hook, and then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we started out on the cast on. We're going to skip the first ridge. We're going to insert the needle through the second ridge, the bump at the edge. And we're going to yarn over, pull a loop through, pull the loop through the existing stitch, and then chain 1. And from here on out, we just repeat. We skip the next ridge, insert in the edge bump, pull a loop through, pull that loop through, existing loop on needle, chain 1, go to the other side. That's the ridge where we attached last. We're going to skip this ridge, and then we're going to go through this next ridge, pull a loop through, pull that loop through, chain 1. So it just alternates. Skip a ridge, insert, pull through, chain, skip a ridge, insert, pull through, chain, insert. Okay, so here I am at the end, and have just one more bump to go through here, and another on the left. So I'm just going to finish by going through the bound off edge of this block, chaining, and then doing the same on the other side. So now if I happened to have an unequal amount of garter stitch ridges, which I sometimes do on these blocks because my mom makes them and she measures them to determine when she's done rather than counting the ridges. So sometimes I have a few more ridges on one block than I do on the other. So I just figure that out as I'm getting to the end, and I make some adjustments. Turns out that there's an equal number on this one. But okay, so I really like this join for a couple reasons. One, it's pretty easy to learn, and it's amenable to this issue with different numbers of garter stitch ridges, unequal amounts. I can fix that pretty easily. And I like the way it looks, both on the front, where it looks, like little chains that are zigzagging back and forth. I think it's quite attractive. And on the back, which looks pretty good. Not the same, but it looks pretty good and pretty tidy. And I like that I can work this continuously. In the blanket, I have directions in the bingo blanket for how to do one continuous join so that you don't ever cut this yarn, so you don't have ends to weave in. And then if you're going to go on and do like a double crochet border or the scalloped border. Directions are in the blanket for those. You don't cut the yarn even then, you just keep going. And anyway, so I hope that you find this useful for joining garter stitch blocks. I like to do it in a contrasting color. The blanket usually is done in like many different colors of blocks, could even be like kind of random blocks. And so it looks nice to have like a white or a black or some contrasting color with the blocks so that your attractive joins show up. Okay, well, thank you for listening in and watching, and happy knitting and happy crocheting.